everyone, I hope everyone is well. Joining me again today for another guide into Suffolk. I've just come off the A47. I'm going through the little village of Corton. That'll give you a clue to where I'm fishing today. So I'm going to fish a mark called Tramps Alley, and it's about 2 miles north of Lowestoft. So I'm just looking for the little car park, because there's a little off-road car park here with like a coffee shop and stuff, back of the old Pleasurewood Hills. So this is the actual Tramps Alley on my left here. So we'll walk out the car park and we'll walk down there. Here's the car park now. I believe it's free. I will check as soon as I get in there, but I believe it is free. And as you can see, there is a height restriction that won't affect us. It's actually open at the moment. Yeah, quite a busy little car park. I'll have a look at it as well. As I said, down the far left there is a coffee shop. So I think it's popular with beach walkers and dog walkers. So yeah, what I'm going to do is possibly park over there on the side, and I can go through the alley which is there in front and straight across onto the beach. So yes, Tramps Alley, just north of Lowestoft. I have attempted to do this guide once before, but when I arrived there was piles of weed on the beach, and there was also an angler reeling in with a ball of weed the size of a football. So that was a non-event that day, and I ended up going somewhere else. But anyway, I'm going to get some gear out now, get loaded up. Got my little bodyguard with me today as well, so she'll have a walk down on the beach with me, and we'll go down and see what the weed situation's like. So straight across from the car park, down that little way, and there's a crossing there, and down this little track here, this is the actual alley, straight down there and onto the beach. Another angler's just gone down past me, so I don't know how many people will be there, but we'll have a look when we get down. Okay, so I'm now down on the beach. I've walked about 200 yards from the entrance, which is just about, where are we? Just about there, set of steps from the slope down onto the beach. A nice comfortable walk on that shingle, and I've set myself up, set the little shelter up just for the dog, and I've set myself up right in the middle of this groin. Got a big old fishing boat hurtling along here now. There's another one, there's two more moored up just out there, I don't know, several hundred yards offshore. They're obviously fishing. There's been a few coddling about on the boats. You've got the odd one on the beach as well. So what I'm going to do now is quickly rustle up some tackle. Touch wood, don't look like there's any weed on the beach. Water looks a decent colour. As you can see, very little swell at all. So that's the first job. Up in the distance there you can see the wind turbine, which is on Nest Point, Lowestoft. So that's how near we are, and the other angler's just setting up there to my right. Okay, so what I've done is I've rigged up the one rod for a start. I'm going to give it a try on that, see if there's any weed or snags, and then I'll probably set the other rod up and put a bigger bait on it and put it a bit further out. I'll put probably a little 2-hook loop rig on there, size 1/0 hooks, and I'll fish bait. I've got a few worms to use up. I've got a little bit of fresh rag. I've got some frozen blacks, and so I'll probably put them on 1 hook and try fish baits and squid. I've also got a herring. So the usual sort of baits, which I'll go through, randomly changing them until I find something that works. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to get this 2-hook loop rig baited up, and then we'll get it out. Okay, so there's the first rig. 2-hook loop rig, put squid on the bottom and a rag on the top hook. Get that put out now, and get the other rod sorted out. That's the first rod. What I'll do is give that the first cast, just to make sure everything is fine. I've got all the bits here ready to set the second rod up. I think it's a good idea just to have a look on one rod first of all. If it's snagged up, or we come back with a football sized piece of weed, then we can adjust accordingly without having to move the two rods. So what am I expecting to catch today? Probably the usual sort of mixture for this time of the year. We're just going out of winter into spring, so the winter species are starting to thin out, like the whiting, and the more summer species, i.e. your dogfish, are turning up more and more. So that's the two predominant species I'd expect to catch today. Probably whiting, maybe a dogfish. What I'll also do is I'll set the second rod up, and I'll put probably a long flowing trace on there, fish a bit of herring, and maybe target a ray, because they come off this coast as well. So today we're fishing the ebb at the moment, so we've got 3 hours to low tide, which is around about 2 p.m. and then what I'll probably do is fish an hour and a half to 2 hours up the tide as well, again depending on the weed, state of the tide, etc. There's quite a bit of sideways pull, so there is a good tide out there. I just hope the weed don't become a problem, because I've been here before and it all looks good. After half an hour the weed moves in and you're buggered. It literally is unfishable. But fingers crossed that won't happen. And say we'll give it 10 minutes, 15 minutes on that cast, bring it in, have a look at what's what, and take it from there. Okay, that's been about 15 minutes now, and it's gone way down tide, so I'll have to see what's going on. I'll get that one in and have a check. A little bit of weed, not too much, just enough to be annoying. Yeah, that was a little bit annoying. I had quite a blob on the leader knot. The rig end was pretty good. Plates had not been touched, and it didn't take long to flick that weed off. So I've chucked out the second rig, which I had ready baited up. What I've done is I've put that in much closer, probably about 60 yards at tops. The worrying thing is, the guy next to me looks like he's snagged twice. Put two rods out and they've both snagged, and he's losing gear. Right, time to see if this second cast is any better. As I say, I put it out a lot shorter range, less line in the water, should pick up less weed. Let's see if it worked out. No bites as yet. Like a little bit of crab activity or something on the top hook. Definitely much less weed on that chuck, which sort of it proves the point that the more line you got in the water, the more tide, the more weed. So when that weed's about, if you come in a little bit shorter, sometimes you can get away with it for a bit longer. Only a tiny little bit there on the leader knot, and it was even enough to pull through the tip ring, so that's quite acceptable, and it's the sort of thing you have to do, waiting for that weed to drop off. Hopefully it'll get better and not worse. So yeah, quick rebait of this rig again. Bait's completely, top bait looked like it had a bit of crab, bottom bait was a strip of mackerel, untouched, completely as it went out. So I'll quickly change them over. I've just got out some frozen blacks and I've whipped one of them up. So I'll try this cast, or this next cast, on the next rig instead of the ragworm. So one thing I wondered when I started looking at all these Suffolk venues, I've obviously known that this has been here for years. I fished it years and years ago when I first moved to Norfolk. But several people have often asked, you know, how this alleyway, Tramps Alley, got its name. And I've sort of had a little Google about, and there's various theories, and I just wondered if anyone knew any different to what I do. The one I heard was there was a German homeless guy camping in a tent down there years and years ago, and it got named after him. I don't know why that boat thinks it's clever to go through there. It's constantly up and down, that boat. So if anyone knows the sort of origins behind Tramps Alley and the name, I'd love to know if you can put it in the comments, as it's something that several people have asked me when I've said I'm going to Tramps Alley. Where's that, and why is it called Tramps Alley? So I suppose the name and the title is probably a bit self-explanatory, but one of the other theories I came up with was Black Shuck, which is the legendary ghostly dog. That's supposed to frequent the alley as well, but again, I don't know how much of it's true. It'd be interesting to know if anyone else does know. So put it in the comments. Quite a bit of weed, but I also got a couple of fish, so one micro whiting and one half decent whiting. Let's put them in the bucket. So what we've got here is probably two ends of the spectrum. We've got one of the smallest whiting and a decent one. That one there's just over 28, 29, so if it was a match that would be in size. That one, definitely not, but it's a start. Get them put back. No surprise really that today's first two fish are whiting. More frustrating for me is I'm not getting any bite indication. I know I've come in a bit, so the tide flow's not as good. But you'd think that bigger one would have made some sort of impact on the rod top, but no. I'm literally bringing it in for a bait change and there's one hanging on, or two in that case. So yeah, I'm going to continue with just the one rod at the moment while that weed's like that. If it drops out completely, it won't take me 2 minutes to get the other rod set up. I think it'll be a constant weed cleaning exercise if I had two rods. So what I'm doing is, with the spare rig, I'm baiting up while that one's out. As soon as it comes in, the other rig goes on, straight out again. So I'm maximising my fishing time. Right, I actually just got a little tap on there then. I'm going to get that in and check it, have a rebait. Might be just the tide and the weed. It looked like a proper tap. see those little blobs of weed on the line are getting longer and longer. That's it, longer. Well, if you can get tension on the line and guitar string it, it comes off quite easily. So it's still quite manageable at the moment. So here's an interesting point on this this part of the coastline. See, here's my rods on the beach, and you regularly see the local charter boats coming as close as that. Now I say close, that's probably 500 or 600 yards from the beach, out of casting range, but that is a local charter boat called High Flyer 2, and you regularly see posts on Facebook and on the internet of the catches that they have. A very knowledgeable skipper. What I'll do, I'll post the details of High Flyer 2 in the description, so if anyone fancies booking a boat for a trip off the Norfolk or Suffolk coast, I believe he's based in Lowestoft, he'll definitely put you on the fish. They often report codling on there. They'll be getting rays, I would say, plenty of dogfish, but the fact that they catch codling regularly this close to the shore means that the odd one does turn up on this beach as well for the anglers. So that's what we're always hoping for. It is a little bit of a rarity, but this is one of the beaches where you have got a chance. So yeah, High Flyer 2. Double doggies. A nice little pull down bite, so I'll get these in the bucket. So I've got 2 doggies here and 1 there, and that one there won't be too pleased about this. There you go. Did expect them. That one out first. Won't get tangled up. Yeah, lovely little pull down bite that time. I've still got a lot of weed there, so I'll now clean the leader and put the other rig out. So not everyone's cup of tea, but on a day like this, when we're sort of scratching around, at least they give a bit of an account of themselves. So there's the first one. A slightly smaller one in there. That's probably 45, maybe 50 centimetres. The other one's not much different in size, so yeah, the old sandpaper dogfish. Going to tie himself up in a knot. See if the other one's a little bit more camera friendly here. There we go. Rough as anything, the skin. He's stretching out for as long as he's got his eyes shut. It's like my dog in the back there. Anyway, let's get these 2 back, and I might consider putting the other rod out as well, because the weed wasn't as bad that time. So that's what I'll probably do next. So the weather conditions today, obviously I'm on an ebbing tide, or a low tide at 2 p.m. It's stayed slightly overcast this morning, which was forecast. Very little wind, and what wind is coming from the west, which is over the cliffs behind me. Obviously you can see the state of the sea, virtually no swell at all, but there is a decent tide run, so I always find that's a little bit helpful, especially for setting hooks and reading the bites normally, but these are being a little bit cagey today. Nice big herring fillet. I'm going to bang that out well to the right, see if we can snare a ray. There you go. That's gone out quite a distance. Yeah, if that can hold out there, it is pulling across a little bit now already. It's gone out quite a way. Whereas the other rod, being in close, is not getting as much drag on the line. But if that moves right to the left, I may switch him over. I'll put that onto the left hand side of the rest, move the little scratching rod to the right, and cast that a little bit shorter so it goes underneath the other rod, if you like. Don't know how much time I'm going to be able to leave it out if the weed's still as bad, but we'll give it a go. While we're here and there's no one else on the beach, got no one else to get tangled up with, I think it's worth a try. The other rod is due a change anyway, so I'm going to get that in now. It's got small whiting in it. Plump whiting, getting back. Yeah, that weed's still just about manageable. So now I'll switch the left hand, well, the big rod over to the left, and the other one, because it's cast shorter, should go underneath it. Let's have a look at the big rod, see how much weed's on it. Did have a fish on it though, but no, too much line, too much weed. I think we'll shelve that idea. with that amount of line out and leaving it out twice as long. And also still the fact that the whiting was snared on it, so as long as you, no matter how long you leave it out, the good old Ray wasn't going to find it. So I'll strip that rod back down, I think, once I've cleared all that weed, and stick to what I was doing. Just about an hour after the start of the flood now, and the weed's not got any better. I just had a couple more tiny little whiting which I took off at the edge. So what I'm basically going to do now is have a slow pack down and get back to the car. So I'm summarising today, the car park, which I'll put the postcode in, all free. There's a nice coffee shop down the bottom which is open during sort of daytime hours. There is also another car park spot for this particular beach. It's about another quarter of a mile up on your left from where you turn into the car park, and it's literally a little lay-by on the side of the road. You go through some trees, down a set of wooden steps, and you'll come out probably, I don't know if you can see the guy walking in the distance there, but there's a little group of anglers there fishing. That's at the bottom of the wooden steps, which is basically up in these trees up here. So that you could park there. I often park there if we're doing a night session. So the car park is free. Species this time of year, it's just an in-between time at the moment, so your winter species are now dwindling, waiting for the summer species. In the summer, this beach can throw up all sorts. It can throw up your smooth hounds, rays, plenty of dogfish. You're still going to get the odd whiting, and there might be a surprise or two as well. So talking of surprises, I recently fished Corton, which I did in a previous guide. I didn't go down to the wreck side, I went to the promenade side and fished a couple of groins from the left of the access. It was a pretty patchy night. I'd had a few whiting and I was fishing basically for dogfish or rays. It was in a match. Halfway through the night I was reeling in what I think was a small whiting, and I got what felt like a hit on my bait. Now when I got it to the side, it turned out to be a large calamari squid. And as soon as it came out of the water, it dropped off on the edge of the sand, but I grabbed it. Initially I was going to take it home and cut it up for bait, but once I got it home and cleaned it all up and gutted it, it was too good for bait, so I ended up shallow frying and deep frying it, and this is what it looked like, and it tasted absolutely gorgeous. So just shows you never know what these beaches can throw up. I had no idea that it would be squid hunting this time of the year on a sandy beach. I've heard of them in North Norfolk, but that was very strange. But it was also very tasty. Probably go down there another 50 times and never ever catch another squid like that, but there you go. So getting near to last cast now. I've just brought in a dogfish, decent sized whiting, and another bloody great lump of plastic. So I don't really know what's going on with all this plastic. I know you see it laying around on the beach, but you don't often see it coming on the rigs. But there you go. I'll get them put back and probably one more cast. My little helper's tired herself out today. Look, she's tucked up in the back there, content. She's got her water. She's had a few treats and a few biscuits. She's quite content. When I pack my gear away, I'll take her for a walk along the beach, and then another walk when we get back to the car. And it's about an hour to get home. Hopefully I'll miss the rush hour traffic. Yeah, quite an enjoyable little session. Yes, so I'm going to wind up today. I've had half a dozen whiting and 3 or 4 dogfish. It can produce a lot better than this. I'd say in the warmer months I'm getting quite a few good smooth hounds off of here, so that would be the time to have a look, I would have thought. Weed's not been too bad today. It can be like the big rod. When I brought the big rod in, it can be like that all the while, in which it's just virtually unfishable. So yeah, So thank you very much for watching again. I hope all the information in the guides are helping you find these places and have a go. And do let me know if you follow up some of the information and have a good catch, have a good day's fishing. And I'll see you all again on the next one, further up the Suffolk coast. Yeah, so that's Tramps Alley. Quite easy access to the beach. Those steps take you straight down. You've got a little bit of concrete going up there, so you can actually walk like 100 yards to your right. Get down onto the beach there. After that it becomes dunes. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a slope going up there, but it's not too bad. It's all over and done in a few minutes. Straight across the road, back into the car park, and we'll be away.